Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you are joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, like, subscribe. Also, make sure that you're subscribing on Spotify to the Talk Spicy podcast. Make sure you're subscribing to the Offensive Thoughts podcast, our basketball podcast with myself and Coach Whit LeJour. We really do appreciate everything that you do. Make sure you're checking out all of the stuff that I write for The Athletic, my Group of Five column that I write on Wednesdays, my various New York Giants columns that I write, and anything else that I may be doing when it comes to this, sports world. It was a very, very interesting football weekend. And on Mondays, especially during football season, it just tends to be a football type of discussion. And so a lot of things happened. There were a lot of changes in coaching. There were the college carousel is starting to figure itself out. And as it figures itself out, there are a lot of questions that I have. And the first question becomes, is this what we sat around and waited for? Is this what we waited for? Billy Napier has, from all accounts, is going to be the next head coach at the University of Florida. Billy Napier is a fantastic football coach. This is not, and before I get started, understand that I'm a coach. So I root for all of these guys to be successful as a coach. I'm not a fan of the Florida Gators. That's not my squad, but I root for coaches to do well. There are not coaches out there that I hope fail. So let me say that from the beginning. But I also look at things from the other side and go, what's the best business move? I go, what's the best move for the overall success of the team? The University of Florida needs somebody who can recruit at a high level, not at a kind of, sort of, level, at a high level. The University of Florida needs somebody who understands what high-level talent looks like. And they need not one, not two, not three, but they need a coaching staff full of those guys. Guys who can get out on the road, guys who sell the brand of the University of Florida, and who can get the high-level commitments to stay in Florida instead of going everywhere else that they're going. I don't know if Billy Napier is that guy. See, here's the thing. I know Billy Napier is a great football coach. What he did at Louisiana, fantastic. But that's Louisiana. And no disrespect to Louisiana and my man Emory Hunt, but Louisiana ain't Gainesville. Louisiana ain't the Gators. Louisiana is not going to be the move if you're trying to win in Gainesville. And I don't know. See, that's the thing. I don't know about this hire. Because what does Billy Napier bring that I go, oh my gosh, they're going to be instantly better at that right now? Is it Louisiana, that offense at Louisiana? No. That Louisiana offense is not spectacular. Now, the defense is better, but when they go, their one loss this year, when they went up against a Power 5 team, defense didn't look that great. There have been other times where teams with better offenses made that Louisiana defense look suspect, but they play good defense. They play really good defense. So is that the calling card of Florida? Is a really good defense? I don't know. Is it recruiting? Well, I don't know either, because it wasn't like Louisiana was getting players that Louisiana could never get before Billy Napier. It's just he was coaching them up well. They were playing well as a team. So they got a good coach. They got a solid coach. And my question to you is, did they need to fire? Did they need to fire their good coach in order to bring in another good coach? Because I have no doubt in my mind, and again, this is coming from someone who grew up a Florida State fan, who is not a Florida fan, never got down with the Gators, although I love partying in Gainesville when I was younger. The guy that they just fired, I have no doubt in my mind, Dan Mullen wins 9+ games next year. If at Florida, with the same team that he would have with the recruiting and all that, I have no doubt in my mind that Dan Mullen next year wins 9+ games. He had a bad year, ladies and gentlemen. That stuff happens. It's the teams that don't panic that are the ones that win. It's the teams that say, hey, let's make some tweaks and adjustments. Those are the ones that win. Florida panicked. They blinked. They let go of a good coach. How do I know he's a good coach? He won at Mississippi State. That tells me he's a good coach. Now, is he a great recruiter? Obviously not. Is there ways to get around that? Yes. He just has to learn those ways. Call up Urban Meyer. Hey, Herbs, what did you do? But they didn't. So we're on to the next. Billy Napier comes in. And my question is, if Billy Napier is the move, then was there a reason to make a move at all? Because I could argue this is a great thing for Billy Napier to take, but for Florida, this is just a lateral move. They didn't improve at the coaching position. In fact, they probably got less offensively innovative. Now we'll see who Napier brings in as his offensive coordinator. Maybe we're having a different discussion. Depending upon who he brings in as his offensive coordinator. I think it was an interesting move for Napier. To me, the move for Napier was to go Louisiana to Louisiana State University. How LSU allowed Napier to get out of the state, to me, might be the dumbest move that Louisiana has ever made. But I know why. I know why they let him get out of the state. It's for the exact same reason that I have trepidation about him at Florida. There is no sexy with this hire. There's no sexy with the Billy Napier hire. There's nothing to go, oh my God, they're going to be good right now with Billy Napier as the coach. But LSU doesn't need that. They don't need sexy. Sexy gets LSU in trouble. You know who else there's nothing sexy about? Yep, you guessed it. You know who it is. It's the GOAT. Nothing sexy about the GOAT. Right? There's nothing sexy. When you say the head coach of Alabama, you don't think sexy. But he surrounds himself with sex appeal. And the question will be, can Billy Napier do that down in Florida? You know where he absolutely would have been able to do that at? Louisiana State. Because at LSU, he's already built in as a Louisiana guy. He's going to gobble up all the Louisiana talent. Not a bad thing. He's going to go into Texas and take Texas talent. Why? Because those Texas schools ain't getting it done. Because Oklahoma, even though it's coming to the SEC, just lost his coach. So he's going to have a chance to come in and snatch that Louisiana talent. Instead, though, he chose to go another route. He chose to go Florida. LSU should have never let that man out of the state. Sorry, Billy, your flight got shut down. Sorry, Billy, your phone ain't working. Hey, Billy, come on over here. Come on home. Don't go anywhere else. But they didn't. You know why? Because they thought they were going to get Lincoln Riley. LSU, by the way, I don't have any proof of this. This is just me in my coach brain, I've seen how this game works from the inside. I've seen how this game works on the outside. LSU thought they had Lincoln Riley. They thought they had Lincoln Riley. So they said, we're getting Lincoln Riley, and we're going to get that offense that Lincoln Riley brings in to clean up what has been an issue at LSU for as many years except for the one when we won the national championship. We're going to get an offense to lead us back to the promised land with a coach that we know knows offense at a high level. That's what they thought. Here's what they didn't realize. Lincoln Riley didn't want that smoke. Lincoln Riley did not want that smoke. Oklahoma is a fantastic job. You don't know why? You're not really recruiting for people. You don't really have anybody to stand up to. At Oklahoma, it's your show. At Oklahoma, it's going to be the way you want it to be. That's what's going to happen at Oklahoma. And in the Big 12, as Oklahoma, you're going to have an easy route into the college football playoff every year. Run the table, win the Big 12, lose one game, but still win the Big 12. Most likely, you're going to get a spot in the playoff. That's how it's been. That's why we've had to see Oklahoma underachieve in the postseason for the past umpteen years, right? It's because they have an easy route into the college football playoff. By the way, the same easy route that the Pac-12 has that they always just trick away. They just trick it away every year, but they have that same path. So it makes perfect sense to me why that guy who has been sitting pretty for how many years now, who's had the opportunity to just exist for how many years now? Why he would not want to go into the blender that is the SEC. Because now in the SEC, he's probably going to go to the SEC West. That means he has to go through Alabama, LSU, Texas A&M, Arkansas, Auburn. I mean, Mississippi State, Mississippi. Who wants to go through that stuff with those teams, with what they've got coming back? That's 4 to 5 losses for Oklahoma. And Lincoln Riley knew it. So why would he then stay at Oklahoma or go to LSU where he has to deal with that type of competitiveness? Ed Orgeron just lost his job 2 years after winning a national championship and 1 year after a COVID season. And on his way out, he still beat teams that he was supposed to lose to. The day it was announced he was not going to return at the end of the year, he beat a team. He beat a top 25 team. He walked out of the door versus Texas A&M with a W. LSU is a great job, but it's still in that SEC blender. And Lincoln Riley was like, nah, I don't want that smoke. Hey, I love Oklahoma. This is my dream job. This is where I want to be at. Oh, y'all are going to the SEC? I don't want that smoke. Let's go to Trojans. Let's go to the Trojans. The Fighting Keyshawn Johnsons. And he was out. And now LSU stuck because Billy Napier is gone. Because I think Billy Napier was probably called number 2. Lincoln Riley, Billy Napier. He's gone now, right? You don't get a chance at James Franklin in Penn State because he signed and got the bag early. You can't go and get Mel Tucker from Michigan State. He went and got the bag early. Now, the person that's sitting in the catbird seat, Stoops, over there at Kentucky, who's never going to win an SEC championship at Kentucky. He knows it. He knows it in his heart. I know it because he's not going to out-recruit Georgia. He's not going to out-recruit many of the teams over in the SEC West. There's way too many landmines for Kentucky for him to feel as if he can win a SEC title at Kentucky. But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to win an SEC title at Kentucky. You just have to be good. Kentucky is not getting their identity through their football team. It is through basketball. If you're coaching the basketball team at Kentucky, you've got to win national championships. You've got to win SEC titles. Cool, that's great. But you got to win national championships. If you're the football coach at Kentucky, you just have to put a good product on the field and go to a decent bowl game every year. That's success. And Stoops has done that in spades. So now it becomes, what does he really want to do? Does he want to challenge himself as a coach? Can I get it done at the highest level? Can I go somewhere where the expectations will be to not only win a conference title, but a national championship? Or I'm going to get fired. Remember, this is Stoops' first head coaching job. This is his first opportunity at this thing. So he may still have it in his mind that he wants to go and test it at the highest level. And if he does, then he probably could write his name on a check, throw some numbers on it, and send it to LSU or Oklahoma. He probably could. But if he wants to be a legend, if he wants to have a statue erected for him, he needs to stay his butt at Kentucky. Because you can stay at Kentucky for 20 plus years, winning anywhere between 8 plus games a year. They're not going to fire you because who are they going to get to do better than that in the SEC? They've been afterthoughts before you showed up. They were moribund before you showed up, Stoops. They know what that looks like. They never want to see that again. They never want to see that again. This isn't like Tennessee, where he took over a team that was bad, but they have a history of winning. Kentucky is a basketball school, and even by some stretch of the imagination, if Kentucky ever won a national championship, it would still be a basketball school, which means that's the school that you want. If you're looking for security, if you're looking to go down and leave your mark on the game, all-time winningest head football coach at Kentucky, and put the record out so far that nobody's going to be able to touch it. Retire, sit back, never pay for another meal in Kentucky, have a statue erected in your honor, because that is what the move is if you're a guy like Stoops. But if he wants to take his chance, if he wants to go toe-to-toe and be able to recruit at the level that those other teams recruit at, he's got that option. But that option comes with a clock. And in 3 years, if he's not winning, he's out of there. And guess what he'll be trying to do? Find another team like Kentucky to go to. Doesn't seem like it's a thing for me to do. It's like sometimes we just make changes for the sake of changing. The New York Giants made a change. They fired their offensive coordinator. And I was like, why? Because what are you going to be able to do differently this year with the new OC? Because the problem's not the offensive coordinator with the Giants. I say it, and every time I say it, the people who love the Giants irrationally, they all think I'm crazy. But the problem with the Giants is not the offensive coordinator. Kitchens wasn't the problem on Saturday. They won, yeah, but the offense looked terrible. Kitchens not the problem. The problem is you put your faith in a quarterback who is a game manager with speed. And he's not even that great a game manager. You have weapons that you put around him that are not on the field. You have an offensive line that you want to be in front of him that's not on the field. There is not an offensive coordinator that can overcome that. The Ravens' offense looks disjointed and normal. Why? Because hardly any of the people who are supposed to be out there are out there. They're missing offensive linemen. They're missing backs. They're missing receivers. Their quarterback's banged up. When you're missing the pieces to the offense, it's not just plug and play. It makes a difference in how you can call the game. And it makes a difference in the execution when you do. So, yeah, you fired Jason Garrett. Congratulations. You got him out of there. Woo! You don't have to see this offense. Wait a minute. It's the same offense. Is that what we were waiting on? Is that what we were waiting on? Is that what we're sitting here waiting for? To watch them do the same thing that they were doing with Jason Garrett? Oh, Jason Garrett never did this. Let me tell you something that Jason Garrett's done. Jason Garrett came out, tried to spread it out, saw that the quarterback couldn't get it done, started to lost his running back. Jason Garrett implemented zone read, split zone read. Jason Garrett had never run split zone read, not once when he was with Dallas. Put it in, why? To try to take advantage of the athletic talents of the quarterback. Quarterback's not smart enough to protect himself, gets himself concussed. Oh, wait a minute. We can't really do that with him as much because we have to keep him upright because he doesn't know how to keep himself healthy. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not Jalen Hurts. He's not Kyler Murray. He's a tall crash test dummy with speed. They try to do more play action in order to help the offensive line. They try to get rollouts and boots in order to make give Daniel Jones one read, one key. These are all the things that the offensive coordinator tried to do in order to help a quarterback who is struggling and an offense that doesn't have all their weapons. So when you fire him and you replace him with another guy, guess what he did? He tried to do the same thing. It didn't work. They didn't win that game because of the offense. They won that game. They won that game because Jalen Reagor dropped a couple touchdown passes. Or else they lose. They won that game because Philadelphia tricked the win off, not because they earned it. That's what we've got to start understanding about these things. Change for change's sake is useless. We'll see what the Giants look like next week, as they've now had 2 weeks with the new offensive coordinator. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you're joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, you know what to do. Until next time, peace.